What's up, Yubers? It's your boy Miltnificent coming back with another sneaker review from my ironing board, as I was ironing and also working, knocking two birds with one stone, that whole ordeal. Before I get into what I purchased, what I copped, latest cop, I want to get an address to certain people why I do what I do. Okay. There's a method to my madness. You heard it time and time again. I do my reviews based on the shoes that I like. Why do I do that? Back in the day, middle school, high school, which is a very long time, there were a group of kids. Everybody always had the latest and greatest clothes, latest and greatest shoes. Wasn't really too fond on the whole clothes thing, but the shoes I kind of liked. Not every shoe, but a select amount of shoes. This year was probably the first time Jordan Brand has released a whole list of Jordans, in particular the 11s. I'm a fan of the 11s, not really the 12s, the 13 that I just acquired. The ones, the 3s maybe, but I'm really a fan of the 11s. And so that's why this year I'm basically collecting the 11s. The 11s that I saw, or the retros I should say, I saw back then. I'm trying to get them now, have them in different colorways, different colors, to match my gear that I have now. So that's the whole gist of it. It was a part of my bucket list. Everybody has a bucket list. To go to Paris, spend $15K, get antique cars, or get this crazy behind, it costs money. These, I'm not trying to get a whole bunch of shoes and say I'm a sneakerhead and have collections. No. These are basically shoes that I like. I'm giving you opinions on what my review and what I think of them, and why I like them and why I don't like them. Typically, I wear my shoes. I like them. That's why I buy them. So you'll never hear, oh, this shoe sucks, blah, blah, blah. Maybe some criticism based off the paint job or something like that. But other than that, I look for comfort in shoes. And it's not just all basketball shoes. I have training shoes. I want to do golf. But anyway, in addition to the sneaker review, I wanted to touch base on a financial portion of this, because the sneaker community thinks that we're doing these sneaker reviews, a bunch of us doing reviews for the same product, and it's the same material. So, but you tune into the video to try to get some insight on the shoe before you buy it, right? You're just basically listening to somebody's opinion. Some people, they may know more than others. You get what I'm saying? But in addition to that, since you're tuning into my channel, you're watching this video, I'm going to give back to you and drop some financial advice for you guys that probably could be beneficial to you. So I want to talk, before I get in the shoes, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I'm going to try to come out with as much reviews and much financial advice I can as possible based off the mistakes that I made off in life and how I learned from them. So with that said and done, Retro 13s. Let's get to the financial aspect. So a lot of us people, right? We are so accustomed to believing you have to have, right? So you go to college, you may or may not have the scholarship. You come out, and oftentimes people are left with a mortgage before you actually get a mortgage. You're left with that bill. You got college payments. You go acquire a car, brand new. You get a house, insurance. These stuff start adding up, and it adds up quick. These are examples of what I call recurring charges. Like, it's basically charges that are applied that you're making, payments you're making on a monthly basis. So the trick to all of this, the trick to what I've been doing, is finding ways to make those reoccurring charges go down, right? I know I make X amount of dollars per year. Okay, you follow me here. If the same person, or if another person is making the same amount that I'm making, they have their cell phone. And this is another reoccurring charge. They have their cell phone. I have my cell phone. Their one line costs 100 and what? Let's just say $100. My line costs $50. and we all have the same features. That's a $50 difference, right? I've basically had that $100 bill and found a prepaid carrier, and I just reduced that monthly reoccurring charge by $50. So that's $50 back in my pocket. When it comes to cars, and again, this is just my opinion, I'm just trying to give you some financial advice. I feel like people buy brand new cars in hopes of, I don't want to have to deal with any, I guess, car repairs. Or, I just want it brand new because I like everything new. Cool. Just know that in life, when you make a decision, you're making the decision. Don't, whether it be good, bad, it's all trial and error. Again, you're going to learn from your mistakes. Stay with me now. We're so accustomed to thinking that buying a brand new car, and of course, with that car, most times, unless you're buying a car flat out, you're going to have full coverage, right? So the insurance comes into play. And oftentimes, before you leave in the lot, before you got there, you probably weren't as much in debt as you're about to be for the next 3 years. Because, it depends on whatever you're leasing, you're financing, and the duration of time for that contract or whatever you signed up for. That stuff adds up, and it adds up quick, because I've seen, on average, for people that I talk to, they're probably spending $500 to $600 a month with the car and the insurance combined. You know how much I'm paying with the used car and the insurance? Less. Let me think about this. Hold on. Yeah, less than $340 a month. So that's a significant difference. Again, cell phone, there's a difference. Car, there's a difference. Money back in my pocket, right? This is not me going to my job saying, I need more money. So that's just my advice to you guys. We're so accustomed to thinking that this is normal. It is not normal. It is not normal to, in my opinion, to shell out X amount of dollars for a brand new car, full coverage in car insurance to cover this brand new car, and you're paying crazy amount of dollars for the next 3 years. Really, when you could just get a used car, the features and all that stuff, most of that stuff is gimmicks. And I just want to put that out there with most cars. Because you can have a used car, and as long as you have what's called a cell phone, the phones can Bluetooth. They even have adapters for old cars that you can connect to the used cars and Bluetooth to this, and guess what? Most of the features you have on there. You know what I mean? So you can play music through your speakers. You can, through your phone. You got Pandora on there. You got GPS. Stuff like that. You can make and receive calls on your phone and your used car through an adapter. There's plenty of ways of doing all this, the gimmicks and stuff like that they have incorporated in these new cars that you can put in. The new cars that you can incorporate and put in the used cars. So, just want to put that out there. Moving on to the third big thing that we mostly come across in life is the house. So, most people love to have big houses. Me, I'm not a fan of a big house because I just need a house that's enough room for the family. It's just enough for us to live on a daily basis. And the reason why I'm not a fan of big houses, stay with me, is when you have a big house, you have to maintain this house, first of all. And you have to maintain not just the interior, the exterior. And with that comes bills. And it depends on where you're living in the United States of America. It's going to come with bills. So a house that's mid-sized versus a house that's big, it's going to cost you more in your pocket to have central air set up and have cold air circulating throughout that house. When the winter comes, heating up, that heating bill is going to start rising compared to somebody that has a mid-sized house. So most times, again, depending on where you live, the mid-sized house that's good for you, the mortgage is not as high, depends on the county you're in, the taxes you're paying, whatever you finance. That's why it's good to have good credit. That stuff starts to add up. And again, if I'm paying X amount of dollars for my mortgage, with my wife, of course, but the same person that's making the same as me has got this big house, and he's paying that much. It's a big difference. And again, that's a difference, money back in my pocket. Some people actually don't have excellent credit. They have good credit. Take it from a guy who had probably the poorest credit you could ever have 12 years ago. But there's ways of building your credit up, right? That's what I did. How did I do that? Start with a secured card. But back to my point, the difference, the reoccurring charges. You can refinance your car. Basically select another bank that can probably take on your debt. Not debt, but the balance of that car and give you a lower percentage rate could actually result for you paying lower monthly payments. So same thing, refinancing with a car, refinancing with a house. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to spit that game for these reoccurring charges that we're so accustomed to paying because we don't pay attention to them, primarily because we probably have it on auto pay. So it's automatically deducted from your bank account, and you're really not thinking about that. You're just doing your day. But the result is these reoccurring charges, however the amount is, now that you're not paying attention to that, when you look at what you have left, it's, oh, man, I don't have any money, or I do have money, but it's not enough, and that's what leads to the frustration. So the point is, if you have that discipline, that fiscal, that freaking, that discipline to basically say, you know what, I'm going to find ways to put more money back in my pocket. In addition to that, watch the amount I spend. Me, I can tell you right now, from a personal standpoint, I'm not here, at least on this planet or this world, to impress anybody. The things I do, I like to do for myself. I put it on video for people to see. You may like what I do. You may not like what I do. They're all opinions, and you can't please everybody in the world. Let's just get that. Let's keep it 100. You can't please everybody in the world. But again, reoccurring charges, put money back in your pocket by finding ways or exploring other avenues to kind of lessen that reoccurring charge. And again, the three big things that, in my opinion, is putting a lot of people in debt: the college payments, the house, the car. The kids, yes, but they're kids. It's going to cost. I'm sorry. That is another thing. But the three big things that we choose to do, we choose, whether you choose to have that big house, that mid-size house, that new car, that used car, or you choose to go to a 2-year college, community college, where you can transfer your credits to another 4-year college and then, get your bachelor's, or even go beyond that and get your master's. The whole point is just trying to save as much as possible so you're not shelling out as much per month, and it's not taking as much from you, the consumer, your payment that you get from your job. Follow me? So I hope that's enough to kind of give you an idea of what I do, why I do it. I'm not going to give you the full-blown exposure to me and financing and what I do, how I do it, because I'm an engineer, network engineer. I am not a financial advisor, but I will give you some advice on ways that you can put money in your pocket without having to go to your job and cry for more money, right? So anyway, and there's also ways of you investing your money to make more money. It doesn't have to be a 401. It doesn't have to be whatever crazy idea you're thinking. It could be something simple as acquiring a shoe at retail and reselling it at market value. Just saying. Putting it out there. So your boy Miltnificent acquired the Retro 13 Jordans that came out not too long ago. I think it was August 4th was the release date. And I read about this shoe. Now we're getting to the shoe part. The whole financial thing is done. Just stick with me here. This shoe came out in mass production, and the release was crazy. And I'm guessing the anticipation from the Jordan brand was, you know what? These are classic shoes. Let's just release the heck out of it and put it full-blown across America to make it accessible for the consumer. And I don't think they anticipated the shoe to sell out quick. but it was enough for a lot of sales to happen both online and the stores. Some stores, if you go to them, sneaker stores, they probably will have this in stock, but there's certain sizes or whatever they might not have. So, long story short, the Concords will hopefully, I'm hoping, will be released like that. So me, going back to decisions, I made the assumption that, you know what, these Retro 13s, they're going to release like crazy anyway. I was going to jump on the sneakers app and just grab my pair, call it a day. And unfortunately, I don't even know how this is possible. I took another L. How did I take an L on a shoe size that I like? It was just... Fortunately, during the time of this release, I was away in an area where the sneaker hype is not really popular. So I was able to go to the store. I called up Champs. They got my size. We went down there, picked it up. I even got a pair for my kid because he has to go back to school. And right now, I'm almost done. Almost. Close to completing my list of that bucket list, right? So let's get into the shoe. And I'm a fan of the retros, right? The problem is when they release these shoes in mass production. If you pick, and trust me, stay with me on this. If you picked up the Retro 13s and you looked at the bottom of the shoe and you looked at the paint job, piss poor. It almost looks like they took like some super glue to at certain spots and they just played like, some type of gun and just shot it on there because it's, I don't know if you can see it right there. It's just literally a spot. Not just this. Multiple super glue spots all over the place. And that's what happens when you try to produce items in mass quantity. So, again, the shoe itself, if you're familiar, this shoe's probably been released 4 or 5 times. Probably like, it's been released over and over again. So, every time before that, I wasn't able to get the shoe. And these are one of the shoes that came out when I was in school that I wanted to acquire. Couldn't acquire, but guess what? Got them! So, I'm kind of happy right now. I did put these on. I did try them out. I'm not going to do an on-feet review and all that stuff. I will say that I am surprised at the comfort of this shoe. The comfort. And I'm telling you right now, the way they designed this shoe, I want to put this close to the Retro 3s. Because I put this on. I had it on. Usually, again, like I said, what I do is I look for comfort. And the Retro 13s, it's something about the other Retro 13s, the other colorways I wasn't liking. They came out with one that was all black and it had like lime green at the bottom. And when I tried it on, it just didn't feel like this feels. Like this, it's not like genuine leather, but it's soft enough that when you put your foot in there and it's sitting there long term and you're walking around, it feels good. The colorway in itself is good. Red bottom, white, black. You can't go wrong with this because this goes with most clothes you have in your closet right now. There's no way you can go wrong with this. It's slick. It's fly. It's almost like, it reminds me like the Reebok Classic of the Jordans, right? It's just, whew. If you haven't put these on, they're good. The only thing, like I said, I think the only difference that the 2012 13 versus this 2018, at least that I could see from pictures, are if you look at the back, if you look on the 2012 version, the back, it's wider, right? This is kind of more narrow. I mean, other than that, visual, you're not going to really see the difference. I think, actually, that's not true. The 2012 version versus the 2018 version. The 2012 version actually is a little bit higher. So if you actually stood the 2012 next to the 2018, this would be shorter, which I don't mind. I think the tongue is a little bit bigger on the 2012. The tongue itself, this right here, is bigger on the 2012. I mean, like, okay, cool. But at the end game, like I said, the shoe itself, it feels real good on feet. And it goes with anything. I don't think you can lose with this compared to the crazy colored sneaker hype shoes that I've been seeing. Lime green 11s that's coming out soon. The orange, and I don't know what Jordan Brand is doing. But I didn't think that it would come a time where Jordan could mess up 11s. Didn't think. Now, we'll put these retro 13s here. Listen, Jordan Brand. How the heck do you mess up Jordan 11s? It's almost impossible. I mean, that's your bread and butter. The ones, okay, you've come out with a whole bunch of ones. But the 11s? There's a shoe coming out, the 11s, I'm pretty sure, I think it's October, and it's called these olive, whatever looking color. It is probably the ugliest 11 I've ever seen. High. Not a low, a high I've ever seen. I don't know if this is going to sell, or is it going to be bat sleeping. I don't know what the heck this thing is going to be doing, but it's just, if I had a picture of that right now, actually, you know what? Google it. Right now, go ahead and Google Jordan 11 Olive and tell me what you think. Leave a comment. That you can't mess up the retros. I mean, every sneakerhead on YouTube, every sneaker fan on YouTube that I've seen, that we're all thinking the same thing. Like, what are you doing to the Jordan 11? Whatever weird white and red one low you came out with, that it was a leather pad. It was sort of like this. It had the same material. But what are you doing to the Jordan 11? Just keep it the way it is. I mean, you try different ones. I get it, Jordan. You're trying to be different, and no, leave it alone. As a matter of fact, I gotta see if I can find these shoes and actually show you what I'm talking about, because Jordan 11 olive green. Olive green is what it's called. Whew. Ooh, wait a minute now. Oh no. Perhaps the colorway changed. Perhaps it changed. See, now I'm seeing other versions. You know, long story short, there was a leaked version of the olives and what it would look like. And it had like this red, this white, this green, and it was just all over the place. The colorway didn't make sense. Where the Jordan logo is on 11s, it was just like, when you look at the color scheme, it didn't look right. But the updated one that I'm seeing now that could potentially release, I don't know. It depends. It depends. Yeah, gum bottom. All right, so hold up. Let me pull these up and see if they are going to look like this. First, let me see if it's relevant. If it does look like this, okay, here, and actually, let me see if I can get a better picture. If it looks like that, we cool. If not, actually, this is a better view. If it looks like this, cool. But that white, red BS I saw earlier, that was a release. Please, God, don't release that. Okay, before I mouth off, let me get back to the retros. But anyway, so the last shoe collection. And before I get to that, please don't mess up the 11s. You came up with these crazy behind colorways for all these retro versions you have out there. Don't mess up the 11s. Last one I got, the cap and gowns, I actually got 2 pair of those. They're good. So, Retro 13s, I got these, and the last pair of shoes for my collection, again, are the Concords. If you release the Concords like you release these guys, everybody has an opportunity to get them. Thank you, Jordan Brand. I don't care if it's 23 on the back. I don't care if it's 45 on the back. I don't care if it's 69. You get what I'm saying? The Concords will complete my collection. And will I do this next year? Probably not. Maybe. But not as much. Definitely not as much. Because I basically come to a collection where I got enough shoes that can fulfill my clothes wearing habits, right? So, but here's my opinion on the Retro 13s. If you ever watched, the hell is that movie called? He Got Game? Denzel Washington, Ray Allen. If you ever watch that movie, or you didn't watch that movie, watch that movie. Watch that movie. Denzel Washington, look, I'm not a basketball player, but when I saw him balling the knees, that's when I became a fan. So that's the whole He Got Game Retro 13 thing. So with that said and done, again, when I drop these videos, I'm going to try to give you some financial advice to try to mix it with the sneaker review, and basically go from there. I'm going to try to change the game up and give you some knowledge. And since you have the time, and again, time is money, since you invested your time to look at this video, I'm basically giving you some financial advice that you could probably use and really think about what you self-evaluate and really think about those reoccurring charges and find ways to make things work in your favor. Put more money in your pocket on a monthly basis, and you'll see how beneficial it can be to you. It'll actually feel like a raise to you, and you don't realize it. And then put away as much as you can every pay. Again, your boy Miltnificent. I'm looking out for you guys. I keep it real. I keep it 100. And you don't have to have every single shoe or every hype shoe that comes out to make yourself feel good. This does not make me feel good, but I just like shoes. That's it. That's all it is. And it doesn't make me better than, a sports athlete. Before I go, that's what I wanted to touch up on. Everybody likes to label somebody. Whether you're the president, you're a king, queen, you are somebody that works at a restaurant, it doesn't matter. Show respect for one another. That it doesn't matter if you're rich, mid-class, you're poor. Please, just show respect for one another, and hopefully you'll get that mutual respect back, right? That's just my advice. I don't ever walk this planet and think I'm better than this person. For what? It's really petty, and honestly, if anything, I would hope that more people wake up each day being thankful for what they have. To see, the ability to see, to breathe, to walk, to touch. I mean, the basic things. Because those things, when they're taken away from you, just saying, just be thankful, be more thankful for what you've achieved, where you are, because there's a lot of people out there that are not as blessed as you, they're not as blessed as me. And again, be yourself. Stop worrying about what this person is and that person is. It ain't worth it. And another thing before I leave is, I feel like we're in a world, in a society, where we're going towards pills to dictate the way we feel, and from like a physical standpoint, and then we're also going towards social media from a mental standpoint, that also dictate the way you feel. So what I mean by that is, if you can, find natural ways to solve your problem versus popping a pill or drinking alcohol. Or there's nothing wrong with alcohol. Don't kill the messenger. But alcohol, pills, or social media or your cell phone shouldn't dictate the way you feel about yourself and the way you feel about others. Be you. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. I can tell a bunch of people that've been with me since I was back in Delaware, and I was back in like the 90s, and they can tell you that I'm the same person as I was before, as I am now. The same goofy, the same out of line person from back then. I still am now. Nobody's going to change me. No money's not going to change me. You know, people say, "Oh, you say that until you get into money." Well, guess what? I'm into money. And guess what? I'm still an idiot. Well, comical wise, and I know some of you people are looking like. But anyway, it's your boy Miltnificent. Again, I'm gonna come back with some more videos, some more fire, and just give you my honest opinion of the shoe, how I felt about it, with, in addition to the shoe, some life learned lessons. I don't want you guys falling down thinking, "Wow, is he able to do what he's doing?" If you watch the beginning of this video, you know why and how I'm able to do what I'm doing. So with that said and done, your boy Miltnificent, you guys have a blessed day. Please enjoy the rest of the summer, because there ain't nothing left unless you live in like Florida or California. And you know, I'm on the East Coast, so I'm representing Pennsylvania all day, every day. Your boy Miltnificent, I'm signing off. God bless.